Have you ever looked around and wondered, why do so many people seem successful on the outside, yet completely lost on the inside? Why do some people have money, relationships, opportunities, and achievements, yet still feel an emptiness they cannot explain? And perhaps the most important question of all, why do you sometimes feel like you're moving through life without truly knowing where you're going? If you've ever felt this way, then what you're about to hear may change the way you see yourself forever. Because according to ancient Buddhist wisdom, most people feel lost for one simple reason. Not because they're weak, not because they're failures, not because life is unfair, but because they are searching for something in places where it can never be found. Think about that for a moment. What if the feeling of being lost isn't actually the problem? What if it's a message, a signal from your mind and soul telling you that you've been walking in the wrong direction? Today, we'll explore one of the most powerful teachings attributed to the Buddha, a lesson that remains just as relevant today as it was over 2,500 years ago. And by the end of this video, you may finally understand why so many people feel trapped, confused, anxious, and disconnected, even when everything appears fine on the surface. So stay with me, because this teaching isn't just philosophy. It's a wake-up call, and it might arrive at exactly the right moment in your life. Imagine a traveler wandering through a vast desert. Day after day, he searches desperately for water. He sees shimmering lakes in the distance and runs toward them. But every time he arrives, they disappear. They were only mirages. Again and again, he chases what appears to be the answer. Again and again, he is disappointed. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are living exactly like that traveler. They're chasing mirages. They believe happiness lies in the next achievement, the next relationship, the next promotion, the next house, the next purchase, the next social media validation, the next version of themselves. And yet somehow, no matter what they achieve, the satisfaction never lasts. A goal is reached, a dream comes true, a new chapter begins, and for a brief moment, they feel complete. Then the emptiness returns. The Buddha observed this pattern thousands of years ago. He saw people endlessly chasing external things while neglecting the one place where lasting peace can actually be found, inside themselves. This is the reason many people feel lost, because they've been taught to look outward for answers that can only be discovered inward. Modern society rarely tells us this. Instead, we're constantly encouraged to seek more success, more attention, more status, more possessions, more approval. But the human mind is a fascinating machine. The moment it gets what it wants, it quickly creates a new desire. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. Buddhists understood it long before modern psychology existed. The mind adapts, the excitement fades, the desire returns, and the cycle repeats. This is why someone can become wealthy and still feel empty. Why someone can become famous and still feel lonely. Why someone can achieve every goal they once dreamed of and still feel lost. The problem was never the goal. The problem was believing the goal would permanently complete them. The Buddha taught that suffering begins when we become attached to illusions, not because goals are bad, not because success is wrong, but because we mistakenly expect temporary things to provide permanent fulfillment. And temporary things can never do that. Everything changes. Everything fades. Everything transforms. This isn't pessimism. It's reality. And strangely enough, accepting this reality creates freedom. Because once you stop demanding permanence from impermanent things, you stop being disappointed every time life changes. You stop fighting reality. You start flowing with it. Think about how much suffering comes from resisting change. People suffer because they want to pass back. People suffer because they fear the future. People suffer because they want certainty in an uncertain world. But life has never promised certainty. The Buddha understood that true strength comes not from controlling life, but from learning how to navigate change without losing yourself. And this brings us to an important realization. Many people believe feeling lost means something is wrong. But what if feeling lost is actually the beginning of wisdom? Consider this. Before every major transformation in your life, there was confusion. Before growth, uncertainty. Before clarity, questions. Before direction, wandering. The caterpillar must lose its old form before becoming a butterfly. The seed must disappear beneath the soil before becoming a tree. Likewise, sometimes you must feel lost before discovering who you truly are. The problem isn't being lost. The problem is panicking when you are. Most people become so uncomfortable with uncertainty that they immediately search for distractions. They scroll endlessly. They overwork. They consume constant entertainment. They fill every silent moment with noise. Why? Because silence forces them to confront themselves. And that can be terrifying. The Buddha encouraged something radically different. Instead of running from discomfort, observe it. Instead of escaping confusion, study it. Instead of avoiding your thoughts, understand them. Because the answers you're seeking often hide beneath the very feelings you're trying to escape. This requires courage. Real courage. Not the courage to conquer the world, but the courage to sit quietly with yourself, to face your fears, to question your assumptions, to examine your beliefs, to discover what truly matters. And that journey is far more difficult than most people realize. Because when you begin looking inward, you start noticing uncomfortable truths. You notice how often your happiness depends on other people's opinions. You notice how many decisions are driven by fear. You notice how much energy is spent trying to impress people who aren't even thinking about you. And once you see these patterns, you cannot unsee them. This is where awakening begins. Not with a dramatic revelation, not with a magical moment, but with awareness. Simple, honest awareness. The awareness that much of what you've been chasing may never have been what you truly needed. And that realization can be both painful and liberating. Painful because it challenges old beliefs. Liberating because it opens the door to genuine freedom. As we continue, we arrive at one of the deepest insights in Buddhist wisdom. If feeling lost comes from searching the wrong places, then what keeps people trapped in that cycle for years, even decades? The Buddha pointed to something incredibly powerful. Attachment. Not physical attachment alone. Mental attachment. Emotional attachment. The attachment to expectations. The attachment to identity. The attachment to how we think life should be. Many people believe their suffering comes from what happens to them. But often, suffering comes from the story they create about what happens. Two people can experience the exact same setback. One becomes stronger. The other becomes bitter. The event is the same. The interpretation is different. This is where the mind becomes either your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. Most people never learn to observe their thoughts. Instead, they become their thoughts. A negative thought appears. They believe it. A fear appears. They obey it. A doubt appears. They surrender to it. And over time, these mental habits create an invisible prison. The walls cannot be seen, but they can certainly be felt. The Buddha taught that awareness is a key that unlocks this prison. The moment you become aware of a thought, you create distance from it. You realize, I am not this fear. I am not this anxiety. I am not this temporary emotion. The thought exists, but it does not define you. This simple shift changes everything, because when you stop identifying with every thought, you stop being controlled by every thought. Imagine standing beside a river. Leaves float past on the surface. Some are beautiful. Some are damaged. Some move quickly. Others move slowly. Your thoughts are like those leaves. You can watch them pass. You do not need to jump into the river and be carried away by every current. Yet, that is exactly what most people do. Every fear becomes reality. Every criticism becomes truth. Every obstacle becomes proof that they are not enough. The Buddha's wisdom invites us to do something different. Observe, understand, then choose. This is true mental strength, not suppressing emotions, not pretending everything is fine, but developing the ability to remain steady even when life becomes uncertain. And uncertainty is unavoidable. Jobs change, relationships change, health changes, circumstances change. Entire chapters of life can disappear without warning. The question is not whether change will come. The question is whether you will be prepared when it does. Most people spend years trying to build a life that feels secure. But real security does not come from controlling the outside world. Real security comes from mastering the inner world. Because when your peace depends on external conditions, peace becomes fragile. But when your peace comes from understanding yourself, it becomes resilient. This is why some people remain calm during chaos. It is not because their lives are perfect. It is because they have trained their minds. The Buddha often emphasized that the mind is like a garden. Whatever you repeatedly plant will grow. If you continually plant resentment, resentment grows. If you continually plant fear, fear grows. If you continually plant gratitude, wisdom, patience, and compassion, those qualities begin to flourish. The challenge is that modern life constantly competes for your attention. Every day, countless voices tell you who you should be, how you should look, what you should own, what success should mean. And if you're not careful, you can spend your entire life living someone else's definition of fulfillment. This is another reason so many people feel lost. They are pursuing goals they never truly chose. They are climbing ladders leaning against the wrong walls. They are following maps that lead away from themselves. The Buddha encouraged something revolutionary. Know yourself, not the version of yourself created by social expectations, not the version shaped by fear, not the version seeking approval, but the deeper self that exists beneath all of those layers. When you begin this journey, something remarkable happens. You stop asking, how can I impress people? And start asking, how can I grow? You stop asking, how can I avoid failure? And start asking, what can this experience teach me? You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, how can I respond wisely? These small changes in perspective create massive changes in life, because your life is ultimately shaped not by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond. This is why Buddhist wisdom remains timeless. It does not promise a life without problems. It teaches you how to develop a mind that is stronger than your problems. It does not promise permanent comfort. It teaches resilience. It does not remove uncertainty. It teaches confidence within uncertainty. And perhaps that is the lesson many people need today. You do not need to have every answer right now. You do not need to know every step of the journey. You do not need to eliminate every doubt before moving forward. You only need enough courage to take the next step consciously, the next wise decision, the next meaningful action, the next moment of awareness. Direction is not found all at once. It is created one choice at a time, one thought at a time, one day at a time. So if you've been feeling lost lately, remember this. Feeling lost does not mean you are broken. It may simply mean that life is inviting you to look deeper, to pause, to reflect, to reconnect with what truly matters. The Buddha's message was never about escaping life. It was about seeing life clearly, because clarity creates wisdom. Wisdom creates peace, and peace creates a life that no external circumstance can easily shake. Years from now, the things that once seemed so urgent may no longer matter. The opinions you feared may be forgotten. The worries that kept you awake may have disappeared. But the relationship you build with your own mind, that stays with you. That is why mastering the mind is one of the greatest achievements a human being can pursue. Not because it makes you superior, but because it makes you free. Free from constant comparison. Free from endless craving. Free from fear-driven living. Free to experience life with greater presence, gratitude, and purpose. And perhaps that freedom is what you've been searching for all along. If this message resonated with you, take a moment today to reflect on where you are seeking fulfillment. Ask yourself honestly, am I chasing a mirage, or am I building inner peace? Your answer could change the direction of your life. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more powerful Buddhist wisdom, life lessons, mindfulness teachings, and practical insights for inner strength and self-mastery, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Join us on this journey toward clarity, wisdom, and lasting peace. Welcome to Wisdom Hub Buddha, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Until next time, stay mindful, stay strong, and keep walking the path of wisdom.